relationship changed with your growing children now that they're married or are off on their own with children and families of their own, especially your daughters? Are things not quite the same as they used to? And are they treating you more like an older woman? Stay tuned. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. And also, I'm catching you up on a lot of the little things that are going around here on the little adobe cottage with Nanny and Moose. Now, the question came up from several women. They told us something similar to this. I used to have such a wonderful relationship with my daughter, and now I hardly see her at all. She doesn't keep in contact. Once in a while we talk, but she doesn't treat me like she used to. She treats me more like an old lady. Does that sound familiar to you? Well, in a video about 6 months or a year ago, I talked about something that I called the circle of love. And a lot of you at the time said, wow, that makes sense. And think back on when your daughters were born. I think mostly in that particular video, it pertained to grandchildren. We were talking more about the grandchildren and how they loved us when they were little toddlers. And I know my grandkids used to sit in the bed with me, and we used to read YouTubes about funny things cats did. And with Shani, we were always looking up how to make clay models of this and that. And oh, we had so much fun. We ate hummus and crackers in bed, and as they grew, we had so much fun. We did so many things together. But then as their little circle of love of mom, dad, and grandma and grandpa got a little bit bigger, they started school, and they had friends that meant so much to them. They were so close to some of their friends. And then that circle of love widens, and this happens with our children. Now I'm talking about our children, particularly maybe our daughters. And as it grows and grows, they still love you, and you have to remember that. But so many other things enter into their lives, especially when they get married. And as these women get to the point where they have husbands and children, they're busy, they're still working, and they still love you, but their immediate circle of love, you're not right there in the middle anymore. And that's understandable, and it's part of what we call acceptance as we grow older. So many things we realize we have to accept, and that's a biggie. And some women can accept it, some can. Some accept it, but it takes a lot longer, perhaps, to understand. Now, I think that you can do a lot to help this situation. If you don't hear from them and you're still having good relationships with them, let them know that you miss them and that you want to hear from them once in a while, and try and set up something for them, or go and visit them and stay with them for a weekend, see if you can help out around the house. Now, there are other circumstances that are probably a little worse, and that's if there's a lot of distance between you, then you have to work a little bit harder. But those special times when you do get to visit, either when they come to visit you or you with them, you do have very special time. But I believe you have to speak up. You have to say, I miss you. You're such a part of my life. So hope that helps. Let me know and keep me posted on, I know that's such a big thing with all of us. And by the way, that happens with me too. So let me just personalize what I've just been talking about with a story that I remember about my mother and I and our relationship. As most of you were or are, my mother and I were the best of friends. We were so much alike, and even now, I do so many things, say so many things. I say, oh gosh, I'm so much like my mother. Well, our relationship, all those years from the time I was a little girl, was wonderful. We went everywhere together. We did everything. We sewed together. We shopped together for hats and whatever. And as life went on, it was wonderful. Well, Moose and I were married when we were almost 23, 22 and a half. And at the time, Moose was in the Army, so we moved to Fort Knox, Kentucky. And we lived there for 2.5 years. So that separation was for the very first time between my mother and myself. Well, we wrote letters, and my mother was a great letter writer. We talked on the phone. We did come home a couple times for visits, but it was sort of an abrupt change from our relationship. And I know it was very tough on my mother, as it was on me too. Well, we lived home for a couple of years before Mosey was transferred to Scotland. We lived there for 3 years. Now, they didn't visit us during that time, but we did get to come home for 1 month after our first year, I believe. And we spent a lot of time together. And after that, 3 years there, we spent a couple of years living back east. Maybe it was only 1 or 2 before we finally came to California and have been here since the 70s. And at that time, I know that my mother really missed me. And when I was home with her, we would try and have those shopping sprees and sit down talks and everything together. But it was different. My mother was older, and so was I. And by that time, Musi and I were having children. Our lives were extremely busy. I still loved my mother dearly, but our relationship definitely had changed. Now, skip forward to, by the way, all those years that we lived in California, my mother and father came out and visited us at least once a year. And of course, we did get home a couple of times a year too. But by this point, we were on opposite ends of the country, and years and years had passed. Well, this is the funny thing that I remember in my mind when it hit me that my mother was old and that our relationship had changed. They were on a visit out to California, and I remember wanting to go out and shop with my mother. And I wanted her there because I wanted to relive the experiences of when we were younger, and we did this. And of course, by that time, she had had arthritis. Her knees were bad, and I remember her saying, "Let me give you some money." She said, "Why don't you go and have a good time, and I'll stay here. You can tell me all about it when you come home." Well, I realized that her saying that was her realizing herself that she couldn't have the same relationship with me, and I finally accepted it as well. Now, little things like that over the years will happen to you too. And I know even now, I still have tons of fun with my daughter, but I'm not able to keep up as well as I did years ago. And now I notice that as we step up, perhaps in a couple of steps going into a house, someone will take my arm and help me. Now, that's them realizing that we are older and that they love us just as much, but now they are in a caretaking mode as well. And I think this will happen automatically. Yes, they know we're older, and yes, they will treat us as if we're older, but that does not lessen the love. I hope my little story might help you somewhat, but it's all about acceptance, and the love never, never stops. In the last video, so many of you women told me of all your horrible experiences with the midlife crisis. A lot of you didn't go through it, and that's wonderful. but I heard a lot of horrible things about the menopausal thing, and I'm so sorry about that. But most of you seem to have come through it fine and are ready to go through the rest of your life. And those of you who are 65, ready to go, you have a lot of living to do, and I hope that it goes well for you. For those of you who are new, I've been painting rocks lately, particularly a nativity scene. I wanted to show you that today, Sunday morning, I painted a rock for my friend Carlos at the rock yard. And I have to go back, as you know, to turn in some stones. So I thought I'd put this nice quote on there. Well, I'm off to the rock yard. I'm so proud of this rock. Let me show it to you. This rock is for them, especially my buddy Carlos, who gave me these rocks to be able to paint. So I did a little scene on a rock with the name of the construction company and a little biblical verse, leave no stone unturned, which is in, I think, 3 of the Gospels. This is something maybe they can use as a paperweight, and I have signed it on the bottom. Now this time I did bring my measuring tape. Yeah, he's only 5 feet 2, so I need them taller than that. I might have better luck here. I'm having troubles trying to find one. Well, as you know, I made a visit to the rock yard yesterday, and I did not do as well as I had hoped. When I tried to find rocks that were taller than my kneeling, see, he is 5 inches, and I'm getting myself out of scale here with my original nativity scene. And normally my Joseph is the same height basically as one of the wise men who is kneeling, and that's not right. So I thought I had to remember how it took me so long to find a rock for Joseph? That's why I never did Joseph all those years and just recently did him. But I have to find rocks now that are this tall or maybe a little taller. So I might have to do away with the kneeling rock, and the only rocks that I could find, when I tried to find the taller ones, they were so heavy, it didn't make sense to even include them in the nativity scene. So I'm a little bit at a standstill. So bear with me for those of you who like your rocks. And for the rest of you, you can just put up with this for a little while. This is the week for dilemmas. So many important things going on in my life that I just can't figure out right now. As you know, I purged my very favorite old scoop neck, big, nice puffy sleeves eyelet blouse that I wore with my white eyelet skirts as my beautiful white summer outfit. Well, I didn't realize that I had done it, so that's gone. I can't go and buy them back or pull them out of a bag. So I've been trying to find one on Amazon. Well, I think I found one, and it came yesterday. Well, yes, it does have the puffy sleeves, nice big puffy sleeves. This is too tight, so I have to loosen this up, and I decided to make it more puffy, in which case I'd have to add some more down here and push it up a bit and put new elastic in. I might do that. But what I was not excited about was the fact that in the front, look what they included. A lining on the inside. And you don't really need that. You don't see anything in an eyelet blouse. Nothing that's going to set you off. So I am in the process with my trusty old scissors of cutting the lining out of the front. So that's what I'm doing. I'm remaking a blouse. Silly, I could have made it if I had gone to the store and bought some eyelet, but I did this the hard way. But, well, I'm so glad I only have those 2 things to worry about this week. Nothing earth-shattering anyway. I have Shani here today, and she's finishing up her helping me with the inside, but the vacuum died, so we have some free time. So what we're going to do is Shani is going to film me in my outfits. Now, I wore this outfit yesterday when I went food shopping and also to the Rock Yard, and I got 3 shout outs. One was in a parking lot outside of my supermarket where a woman was walking by and shouted, "Oh my gosh, that color is gorgeous on you." And she loved this. And you know what? I do too. $6.98 at Ross. Can't beat it. Hey, come here. Hello. Yes. Are you mama's girl? Maybe you can come up here and say hello. Oh, she's getting so heavy, isn't she?
Aww.
Say hello to my friends. Yes,
No.
she was a bad girl. She stayed out till midnight last night.
Oh.
Carousing. Yes.
She's feeling adventurous.
Yeah, I know. I love this top. Looks cute with the trousers, right?
Yeah. So
Good.
cute.
Okay. Now, I absolutely love this outfit, but it has a couple of things we have to fix. Shani tells me that I should tuck this top somewhat. Like this, Shani?
Yeah.
You think something
Or maybe
like that?
on one side.
Now, this outfit is definitely for lounging, and that's what I'm doing right now. Now, there are some things wrong with it. I do need a chemise, and guess what? That's one of the things I purged. I can't believe it. So I have to get a chemise with some little straps. Right now, because the top is a sheer organdy, I did have to put something under it, and it's a heavy top, and it doesn't look nice. But Moosey loves it, and I'm going to stand up and show you the pants.
I can zoom in.
Shamu is
Shamu.
hogging my thing here. I just want to be able to show the pants. The top is probably very unusual. If it's too long, I can probably do a tuck of some kind, as Shani recommends.
Yeah.
So the top is pretty. Can you zero in on the top? Yeah, I love all this. It does, we do need a bit of fixing with this outfit, but I wanted to show you. I'll do it again when I somehow, yeah, want to come up? This is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
The pants are great. I love the top, but somehow something's got to be done. Salad is obviously tomatoes from the garden, and I've made a great sauce. I've chopped up the bigger ones, put some cherry tomatoes in. It's got sesame seeds, roasted black sesame seeds, pine nuts, chiffonade basil from my garden, olive oil, soy sauce, vinegar, sesame oil. Wonderful salad. There it is. Always a winner. Can't wait to have it with cream cheese, just like my mama gave me. My favorite sandwich as a child. Get all those dates and walnuts in there. Doesn't that look good? The extra things that I put into the box mix really make it almost like the original, and it's absolutely delicious. Date and nut bread. Well, I did bring you up on a lot of the little teeny problems that are befalling me this week, but we do have lots to look forward to. We're seeing Bonnie and Billy and Mikey and Sabrina, kids, grandkids, and we are going to be making a video this weekend for you. For those of you who have been waiting for me to make the Filipino pancit that I promised you months ago, Bonnie and I are actually going to make it together down at my grandson Billy's house. And this is going to be a great video. So we'll be doing that, making it this weekend. And I hope at the beginning of next week, I'll be putting it up. And she'll also be making lumpia as well, because she's bringing that to a siblings party that Colleen is having for all the kids, all 6 of them. And guess who's not there? Moosey and Nanny are not there. Colleen said, "Now, Mom, this is just all the sibs. I hope you understand." And yes, we do. They will all be stopping in to visit. but we're not there all night long. Thanks so much for watching, my friends. This was somewhat of a catching up on the rocks, and I know lots of you aren't interested in the rock painting, but so many of you are. It's a process, as I keep saying. Thanks so much for watching, for binging. And one of my subscribers reminded me, she said, Nanny, please tell your subscribers and all your friends to check their subscriber list again, because I have been taken off the subscriber list of your videos 3 times. Now, I don't know whether this happens automatically or for what reason, but so many of you had said this. Something's going on. I don't know what. But thank you for checking, and I hope that those of you who are not subscribed yet might like to join us. Goodbye for now. Thanks again for everything. Love you, and God bless us all.